Hello and welcome. I'm Emily Peet-Lukes, and this is Appfire Presents the Best ITSM Show by Appfire. Today we are talking to Appfire's own Gorka Puente about how the DIKW model and a new app integration can help you manage your data and SLAs more effectively. So stick around. We'll be right back with 10 minutes of expert insight.
Appfire presents the best ITSM show by Appfire.
Hello, Gorka. Thanks
Hello.
for joining us today. How are you?
My pleasure. Doing great. I really like this intro.
Yes.
Really good.
Yes. Well, we're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
So let's just start off. Today, we're talking about data and SLAs, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So what are the challenges that support and service desk teams are facing with this?
Jira generates a lot of data, and when we are using SLAs, like today we are going to talk about an app called 10 to SLA, there is even more data. We got the times when we move from different status, so we have to commit to the SLAs that we sign with our customers, and sometimes we breach them. And how we handle that data is important because we use that data to make informed decisions about our support teams or our service desk teams, right?
Right. Makes sense. A lot of data. You got to manage it properly because it's the backbone of your decisions.
Right.
So we're talking about the DIKW model. Can you tell us about that? What is that?
Yeah, the DIKW model or pyramid is a method that the source is in knowledge management that help us to explain how we move or how we transform the data, right? The D in the DIKW to the information, to knowledge, and to wisdom. Imagine that it's like a pyramid, right? And we have to say that sometimes the boundaries can be blurry between data and information, knowledge, and wisdom. So this is not a hard or rigid model, right? It's a process that helps us to understand how we move, how we transform this data. So each step of this pyramid creates value based on the initial data, on the base, right? And we can use that to answer high-level questions, right, in the different steps.
Okay, yeah, it's a process. I hear it. So how is this related to SLAs and reporting? And there's this new app integration. So what are these two apps?
Yeah, we got this really nice integration. I'm super excited about that. Is Time to SLA. Time to SLA is an app to define and start tracking the service level agreements. And for me, the key thing or the thing that I like the most of this app is that it works in any type of project. You don't need to use Jira Service Management projects, Jira Work Management, or Jira Software projects. And we have integrated it with Dashboard Hub from Jira. This app is for creating reporting dashboards, as the name indicates. It's really easy to use. It's really easy to share. It has like more than 10 product integrations, like almost 100 metrics. And this is going to be our tool to extract the value of that data, right? And it has a history with ITCN. We got a couple of customer success stories that you can find in the Appfire Hub with two companies that are using Dashboard Hub to share with their customers in Jira Service Management, in the customer portal, live reports. And going back to our model and how we explain the relationship and how we treat the data generated by Jira and by Time to SLA, think that each building block is a step of this model or pyramid, is a step towards the higher level, right? We got the data, the information, the knowledge, the wisdom. And in each of these steps, what we are doing, we are answering different questions about this initial data, right? And how we add value to that data, how we enrich our data, and why we need to enrich that data. Because we need knowledge, we want insights. So this is the key. We can take better informed database decisions, right, about this data.
Yes, totally. I understand. Yeah. And that's why that pyramid is kind of in that structure that it is, because when the more you get, the more you know, the better decisions that you can make.
Right.
Can you be a little more specific or explain with an example how this model is applied to this integration?
Yeah. You're right. Probably the best is to have an example. When we get the data, think of that as a collection of elements, right? Doesn't need to be organized in any form. In our case, is the tickets of our service desk or issues from a project, right? But with the thing that we got, for example, the time to fair response or the priority, and these are properties, right? But in the context in the context of Jira, these properties are fields, right? So we got context. We have in the first level, we get context. We're starting to have more value. And for example, if we say Mary, it's just a name. But if I tell you, okay, Mary is an agent, then you say, okay, then in that issue is an assignee, right? So we are having more and more context.
Okay.
So in the information level, what we are going to do is we are going to process that data. Maybe we can use aggregations. We can start doing, for example, the average of the time to SLA, right? So now we can analyze and we can visualize that. So we have moved from data, we are processing that data, and we got information. We can analyze and we can visualize that in that next level.
Okay. And then is it in this next level where the integration kind of shows more of the benefits of being able to use it versus not having it?
Yeah, that's right. That's where we are starting to see goal, right, in this integration. We take all this data generated by time to SLA, and we can start doing things like we create a chart to display, for example, the met versus the breach SLA instances over a period of time, right? How many times per day have we breached or met the SLAs that we committed to our customers? So this is the first metric or the first gadget that you can find in the integration of Dashboard Hub with time to SLA.
Awesome.
And here we are starting to ask questions. So who or when or where are we breaching the SLAs, right? And this is where the next gadget of this integration give us the ability to quickly spot what's going on in a particular project, in a sprint, about a customer request time. Are we about to breach an SLA in that project with a VIP client, or in the current sprint, right? Or in a specific customer type?
Okay, I see. Yeah. And so when do we move the data to that knowledge level, to that part of the pyramid?
Okay, now we can move if we ask a different question. Now we have to ask how. For example, how this information that we saw in this chart is relevant to our support team. And how is that relevant to our goals? Or how are these pieces of information connected to other pieces that we may have in this dashboard providing information? So, and here is where having different metrics in a dashboard comes handy, because you can compare or you can drill into that information and you can find relationships that probably were not that explicit just in the information, right? Because you got your experience and you can see that. And when we have gained knowledge, we got useful insights, we have used that, we can use that to take decisions. So we reach the wisdom level. Here we change the question, or we ask another question, is why? Why are we not meeting our SLAs? What should be the best course of action? Should we maybe increase the number of agents in our support team? Or should we provide training to our agents to be more efficient and meet our SLAs? Or maybe we have to go to the customer and negotiate again our SLAs, right?
Right. And that's where you kind of reach that apex of being able to like make those very informed decisions by being able to get to that wisdom level, right?
Yeah, that's probably the key. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we learned a lot about the integration of Time to SLA and Dashboard Hub and how that can help manage data. So after all this discussion, can you give us a couple of key things that we should take away from this?
Okay, key things. I will say that for the first two levels, data and information, we take a look at what happened, right? And for the next two levels, knowledge and wisdom, those are related to what do we do now and in the future. The second, I will say that in ITCM, there's tons of data. So what we have to do is add value to enrich that data to get information and then answer the right questions to take better informed decisions. That's the key. And the last, that remember that this DIKW model is not something rigid. It's a process that is going to help us navigate the way of our data, right? That's the idea of using this model.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Gorka. It was really informative and great to learn about this valuable new integration. And for everyone listening, if you want to try it out, visit the links in the show notes to start your free 30-day trial of both apps, where you'll be able to explore the integration. And we'll also link some of our customer success stories so you can learn even more. And thanks for joining us today. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.